Welcome to Quilting the Kaye Wood Way. I want to share with you some of the techniques that I've put together into a book called Starmaker Design Concepts. A lot of you know and realize and have used the Starmaker Master Templates that I designed, in the late 70s actually. And there's a Starmaker 5, 6, and 8. And we have a book and a DVD that you can see exactly over 140 different shapes that you can cut with the 3 Starmakers. So that should keep your quilts going for a really long time. Let's take a look at the Starmakers. Now, I designed these because I started into teaching quilting in the 70s. Actually, I taught it class before I'd ever made a quilt. I was traveling around several states teaching free motion machine embroidery. And one of my students asked me, when are we going to do some of this quilting stuff? So I said, okay, I'll be back in 8 weeks. We'll do some quilting stuff. Bring 3 pieces of fabric. Nothing about how much fabric, what kind of fabric, nothing, because I didn't know that. And so I had to set out to find out. And I started studying quilting. And I found out that from what I could see, people were working pretty hard at this stuff. And they weren't as effective as they could be. And it looked to me like it could be a lot more fun if we could simplify things. That's when I designed the 3 Starmaker tools. And the Starmaker 5, the name comes from the fact that the very first thing I thought of was making 5-pointed stars. So it's called the Starmaker 5. We have a Starmaker 6. Guess how many points the star would have? 6. And the Starmaker 8 will give you 8 points. Those are the basic 3 degrees that are used in most of the geometric quilts that are made. But they make more than just stars, many more things. Let's take a look at the Starmaker 5. Right here it says 20-piece Dresden plate, 20-piece wedges. We have an angle up here that's a strange looking angle. Let me tell you about it. It used to come to a point when these first came out, they were thin plastic because it was BRC, before rotary cutters. And when we went to rotary cutters, we had to have thicker plastic. And if that still came to the same point, it would be too dangerous. So we went back and I looked at all the designs I had done, and I never used that point that was sticking up there. I always used it from this line that I have on it now down. So I thought, well, cut off the point, we'll be safe. So that's why that looks as strange as it does. But with that, we can make wedges like I have in this quilt here. Easily make wedges any size you want. That's one of the benefits of the Starmaker Master Templates, and it's why I call them Master Templates. We can make miniature, that high, to really super big with these same tools, because the angle doesn't change when the size changes. The Starmaker 6, not only does it make any kind of 6-pointed stars, it makes perfect hexagons. That's one that people struggle with in quilting, and quilters tell me, they did that once, like they'll never do it again. Well, if you really like hexagons, now you have a quick way to do them. The Starmaker 8, not only will it make 8-pointed stars, like I have here, it will make flying geese, it will make fans, it will make kaleidoscopes like I have here. As I said, the book and the DVD have over 140 shapes that you can cut with just the 3 Starmakers. And what I suggest that you do as quilters is when you read a magazine and they give you a template, put the Starmaker on top of the template. And if the angle fits, then there's no reason why you can't cut a strip and then cut the angle with the Starmaker. And you'll eliminate some of the stuff that isn't as much fun as finishing your quilts. Now, I love to teach these techniques, and I've taught, pretty much not quite all over the world, but my first out of the 48 states was to Hawaii, so I've taught there, and in Europe, quite a few places in Europe, in the Caribbean. In fact, that brings me to our cruises. I teach on quilting cruises about once a year. If you haven't been on one of our quilting cruises, you are missing out on a good time. We have lots of fun, lots of good memories, and we do get to teach and do quilting also. And I do seminars, and the latest thing I've been doing is teacher certification classes where people can actually come, make a project of their choosing from my techniques, and then they can go out and teach my techniques so the word will spread that we can make quilting as easy as possible. So if you get a chance to be in one of my classes or to meet me at one of the big shows in Paducah and Puyallup and Houston, be sure and stop by and say hi, because all of you are my friends. And we have a good time with quilting, and I want you to make more quilts, but basically have fun doing it. That's what it's all about. So be sure and, like I said, come to one of my classes, and I'll be glad to meet you. And you can always reach me by email. You would be surprised at the email that we get. People sending us pictures of quilts they've made using my techniques. And we'll put them up on our website. We like to share the thing because you come up with many more ideas than I've come up with even. And I really like to see that. But you know what makes me the proudest is when somebody wins a prize at a quilt show or a contest because they've used one of my Starmakers in making their quilt. I feel like I've won that prize because I don't make my quilts to get prizes. I make my quilts to simplify things for you. So be sure you can join us there on our website or our email or Facebook. You know, we're out there everywhere. And just because we want to be in touch with you, the quilter. So be sure and keep up with tips, quilting the Kaye Wood way.